It's all fine and dandy, Nick. So, but this was from Deadspin.com, and it was written by Patrick Redford on August the 8th of 2017, last year. Josh Rosen gets brutally honest about the tension between college football and school. UCLA quarterback Josh Rosen is expected to be a high pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. The 20-year-old junior can be seen as a future NFL star and an ambitious guy whose eagerness to have a life outside of football somehow makes certain corners of the league's intelligence skeptical. Now, he was a junior when he said this. Like I said, the boy was born into a situation where his college fund was put in place before he was even a zygote or an embryo. I'm not knocking his family for it. It's the nature of what it means to be white in America. You know what I mean? I get it. Like Greg Popovich said, when you're born white, you start closer to the front of the race than compared to when you're born non-whites in America, where you start further back. You know what I mean? Ooh, I just saw a link from the root.com by my boy Mike. I'm gonna read that later. I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that when I finish with what Josh Rosen said. So I wasn't planning on including that, but that just came up, and I gotta get into that. But back to this article though. In today's interview with Bleacher Report's Matt Hayes, Rosen clearly showed that regardless of how his pro career turns out, he's thinking now about what he has to do to keep his post-football future bright. Rosen talked about his preparation for his crucial junior season, with the perception that he's not committed to football, and that most notably the often combative relationship between football and academics in college football. UCLA is an elite school, and Rosen's major, economics, is one of the more demanding areas of study for big-time athletes. The quarterback said that the two are basically incompatible. Look, football and school can go together. They just don't. Trying to do both is like trying to do two full-time jobs. There are guys who have no business being in school, and they're here because this is the path to the NFL. There's no other way. Then there's the other side that says raise the SAT eligibility requirements. Okay, raise the SAT requirements at Alabama and see what kind of team they have. You lose athletes and then the product on the field suffers. He ain't never lie about that. He ain't never lie about that. Nick Saban would rather recruit a brother who he knows could care less about wanting to gain an education than somebody. Hayes asked Rosen if his point was that some current college football players shouldn't be in school, and Rosen clarified that it boils down to a wayward focus from colleges and a misallocation of resources. He also rightly pointed out that the argument that college players shouldn't be paid because they go to the NFL anyway ignores the fact that very few college players go pro. This is Rosen quoting now that I'm saying. It's not that they shouldn't be in school. Human beings don't belong in schools with our schedules. No one in their right mind should have a football player's schedule and go to school. It's not that some players shouldn't be in school, it's just that universities should help them more instead of just finding ways to keep them eligible. Anytime any player puts Anytime any player puts into school, we will take away from the time they could put into football. They don't realize that they're getting screwed until it's too late. You have a bunch of people at the universities who are supposed to help them out, and they're more interested in helping you stay eligible. At some point, universities have to do more to prepare players for university life and to help them succeed beyond football. There's so much money being made in this sport, it's a crime to not do everything you can to help the people who are making it for those who are spending it. Now, this is a white college student who was in his third year in college, who came from a Jewish background, who knew money, who studied economics, who probably has written on multiple papers, A plus worthy papers, not like the one I read earlier. truly A plus worthy papers. I know what an A plus paper is. I've had plenty A plus papers in my life. Trust me, my teachers can attest to that. You too, Miss Miller. But long story short, though, this is somebody who studied economics and said these things while thinking about the economics of the NCAA and the effect it has on the lives of his fellow players in the locker room, and realized that it is jacked up, and he decided to speak on it. Of course, many players can manage the twin burden of academics and athletics, and some even graduate early. Rosen insisted that the gradient in difficulty, say, between, say, a sociology degree at somewhere like Clemson and an economics degree from UCLA is severe and meaningful enough to judge on the curve. Bleacher Report. How is it then that some guys graduate in 3 years? Deshaun graduated from Clemson, so did his roommate Atavi Scott. I'm not knocking what those guys accomplished. They should be applauded for that. But certain schools are easier than others. Bleacher Report. It can't be that simple, Rosen. If I wanted to graduate in 3 years, I just get a sociology degree. I want to get an MBA. I want to create my own business. When I'm finished with football, I want a seamless transition to life and work and what I've dreamed about doing all my life. I want to own the world. Every young person should be able to have that dream and the ability to access it. I don't think that's too much to ask. Taking light jabs at Alabama, Clemson, and sociology majors will not earn Rosen any friends, but his underlying points are not exactly wrong. There is still an uncomfortable dissonance to college football's relationship with academics and schools that seek to preserve eligibility at all costs and treat the actual learning process as ancillary to an athlete's college experience don't help anybody but themselves. Richard Patrick Redford is a staff writer at Deadspin. Yeah, yeah, I can look up Nick Saban's response, so I'm not gonna read his response. Yeah. I already know what his response was. Oh yeah, this is the report I was talking about with it. This is a report by Michael Harriot. What up, Mike? What's going on, bro? Is at the grapevine.theroots.com. It was filed yesterday at 6:16 p.m., which was on October 8th on Columbus Day. And it is titled An Open Apology to Taylor Swift, who recently discovered racism. See, this filed under When White Women Get Woke. And this is Mike saying, Dear Taylor,